class. This time we're talking about content creation. So I'm just going to hit present. And like I mentioned earlier, please put your cameras on if possible. We'd like to keep this interactive, and it's weird for me to see just your profile photos because then I don't know if you're there or what is going on. So I have you guys on the side here and I can see you. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Just pop them in the chat. I do have time to go over questions throughout, and also at the end we'll have a work session too. So just a little bit about me, and some of you guys don't know who I am. If it's your first class, welcome. I am a mom. I am family focused, and I love being tactical. I love helping you guys get actual things to implement instead of just talking, because we do a lot of masterminds at Real, and I want to make sure you guys are actually implementing things. That's my coaching background. So I used to be a Tom Ferry coach. I teach at Real Academy every month, and I'm also an Enneagram coach and have my own training business on the side as well. If I can make this click over. So we're going to go over content creation, how to get ideas, and how do you plan. So before we start, can you guys pop in the chat below if any of you guys know what content creation is? I'm curious if you even know what it is, because some people don't know what it is. Yes. Okay. So I understand the room and the gauge of this room. Who of you guys have a plan for your content creation? Who plans their content? Or do you just kind of throw things up when you feel like it? You can type in no plan. Oh, I need to close Slack so that we don't hear that all. Start looking at plan. So with the people that do plan, maybe pop in, what do you use currently to plan? And I'm going to just jump into content creation. So content creation isn't just about, let's say, one platform with YouTube or Instagram. Obviously, we are doing content creation for all of the platforms. And I like to cross-post things and multi-purpose things. It's the best way to use your content, and you want to be able to modify it for the different platforms. We used to I'm progress over perfection. So what we used to do is we'd have one piece of content and we just throw it across all platforms. Exactly the same write-up, exactly the same everything. And that's totally fine. That's better than nothing. But now we're trying to modify things to make sure they're leveraged for each specific platform. Yes, that takes a little bit more time, but with the right tools and assistance and help, you can actually make it worth your while. So you can spend time weekly or monthly and using themes or buckets. I tend to plan 1 month in advance, and then each week we plan out what's happening for that specific week. I have just hired a social media manager because I have multiple things I'm trying to keep on the go. And so I'm not doing it specifically like this anymore, but we usually do this. So I'm speaking from my past experience, and using themes or buckets really helps narrow things down as well. So who of you who plans use themes or buckets? If you know what that is. So, Lee does. Nobody else uses themes or bucket. So I just pulled out 3 content buckets. You don't need to use buckets. It's just a way to organize, especially if you're trying to figure out, like, where do I start planning? Because it seems overwhelming, and you see content creators putting out all this content all the time. And you're like, whoa, how do they do all that content? Well, for me, I wanted to make sure I had main buckets. These are the 3 main ones: education, about you, just for fun, and behind the scenes. Now, if you're not the type of realtor that does or feel comfortable with education, maybe you're more about the entertainment, or maybe you're about the edutainment, you can change that up. For me, I don't want to dance on the screen. It would look weird. It's not authentically me. So that's really where you need to start, is like, who are you genuinely? Do you know who you are? And what do your clients say about you? So I would encourage you, even right now, to text your top 3 clients, your top 3 go-to people. Hey, what are the top 5 words you would use to describe me? Then you can get an idea of maybe what they think of you. And then that way it'll help you formulate kind of the content you need to be putting out. I will answer the social media question in a bit. So the about you and just for fun, that's obvious. You need to be personal about what you actually do and who you are, because you are the brand. If you're in a team, depending on how your team is structured, if you're doing the team social media and then they have it, there's ways to collaborate so you guys can have both. You can still work on both of your social platforms. I'm a strong believer that even if you're a team member and your team does do social media, you're also an agent. So I think you need to have your own social media account and you can collab with your team member. So I'd talk to your team lead about that. And behind the scenes, everyone wants to know about what houses you're looking at, what you do in real life. People have different things. So that's just the generic content buckets. More ideas. So I have this in green because it's ChatGPT. You can literally, I don't know if anyone's tried this, type into ChatGPT, I need content for Instagram for the next 30 days. And then I'm a realtor and it'll pump it out. Now, the more specific, the better. So if you know that you, like for example, myself, I'm family focused and I'm this and that, you can put that into the description when it asks you for it. And so, yeah, it's amazing to help you generate ideas, just to start even, right? Testimonials from clients, I find is a really easy tool that we should use, but instead of just throwing up the testimonial, we've done it a few ways. We've done it where you could have, I'll just pull up my Instagram actually. You can do it where you can showcase the actual write-up. On Google reviews, we shorten it because it's not going to fit, and you can make it as a moving text thing. One to do with I'll show you this. This one did really well because it's a reel. So you've got the reel of them moving, there's music. So we just used trending audio, and then I did a whole story. So though my social media manager did this, I actually wrote this myself. So I wanted to tell a story about what actually happened with this client, with these clients, because what'll happen is I have a lot of people from YouTube that follow me on Instagram before they even reach out to me. So guess what? Now I'm going to help them relate to me. Or maybe you have a friend or someone you know from work. If you describe a story, people can relate, and people love stories, and the engagement was really high. Obviously we shared it also to our stories, and it's also shared onto our other platforms. And I'll show you in a bit how we normally do that. So testimonials is one style. Seasonal is another one. So right now we're in spring market. So you can talk about spring market. That could be a whole bunch of different things. Seller and buyer tips. So I'll show you this again. I did a whole bunch of buyer tips recently, and it was just, I did one long form video, and then we spliced it into small sections so that we could put it onto Instagram. And the long form, we never ended up using it for YouTube, but this is just, I made one video, spliced it, used the captions app. So I have my 15-year-old that works for me, and he just grabbed that content and did that. So we ended up putting that on TikTok as well. It actually did better on TikTok than it did on Instagram. This weird thing, I'll tell you guys, see how dark this was? But I didn't want to refilm it. This did really well on TikTok, even though it was dark. So I don't understand. It did actually better than the other one. And it could be the framing of the face. So we're still testing TikTok. It's not really a platform that we're super invested in. But Instagram is kind of where we have for that content. So that's just, think about, you can literally ask ChatGPT, what are the top first-time home buyer questions? It'll spit out something and then you can answer them. You can do collaborations with your mortgage broker. So this is a post that she did, and she added me as a collaborator so that it would just go onto my feed, and you have to accept the collaboration. So if you're adding somebody as a collaborator, make sure you have permission and ask if they want to do it instead of just adding someone as a collaborator. It's just etiquette. But this post has been doing really well too. And it also shows my partnership with my mortgage broker. So I think that's a handy tool to have. And if you're talking about generating content, and then about your team. So another one, we actually pinned this to the top. So we just have just a quick video, like just photos of our team, just and a little blurb about who everyone is. And I like to pin it to the top just so that it's easy to find, kind of like your website. You can do a series. So one of our series was the home buying tips. You can do a series on local stuff. So we have one that's specifically on local businesses. There's different ideas that you can do depending on what kind of focus you're wanting to focus on. I would highly recommend just picking 3 to start if you've never started anywhere, because you want to have a clear, concise message, and then you can just repeat it. So who is your ideal client? Can you guys pop in? Yes, Angela, I said 15-year-old. I started him when he was 10. My other kid is now 12 and he's been working for me since he was 10 also. It's not really duplicatable for you guys unless you have children. But who's your ideal client? What are their questions? Where do they live? So is your ideal client move up market? Is it first time home buyer? Is it foreclosure clients? Can you pop your ideal clients in here? It's whether, it doesn't matter if you're working with them or not, just put that avatar in there and then we'll maybe brainstorm some ideas for you. And then what are your hobbies? Do you like new restaurants? Do you like traveling? Okay, we've got, yeah, well, you might want to. Investors, single moms, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go with, and then what do you like in terms of what are you knowledgeable on the industry? New builds, resale homes, relocation, selling? Like what is your ideal client? I know that we as realtors always want to work with everybody. It's not saying you can't work with those other people, but who specifically are your clientele? Because my clientele on my YouTube channel is families that are local to Edmonton and move up market. And I will do new builds. That's a big specialty of mine, but new build and move up is like my biggest focus. Okay, so now that we have some of these, I'm going to show you, I'm sure some of you guys have used ChatGPT, but I'm going to throw in ChatGPT and I'm going to ask, what are some, oh wait, let's ask, please generate the next 30 days of Instagram content for to reach moms looking to buy their dream home. Okay, so while we talk, it's going to generate all of this. And what you can do, we ended up doing this, is once you get some posts, you can kind of continually massage the wording, including also just saying, I need this post now for LinkedIn, and then it will rewrite it. Now it's obviously taking forever right now because probably everybody's on it. Here we go. And the nice thing is you can type that question and just start working on something else while it kind of keeps doing its thing. So you could do this at the beginning of the month of just figuring it out. And the more specific you are, the better it's going to be. You can even put your local city in there and it will tell you what to do. So this is literally telling you what to do. It will give you actual posts that you can copy and paste or do that as well. So it's going to take a while. So as it talks, there's some other platforms that you guys can use. There is Google Alerts. Who here has Google Alerts set up? I don't know if anyone has that set up. You can set up a Google Alert. I have one set up for real estate. So every single day in the morning, I get all the stuff that Google's seeing about real estate. Yep, I can show you how to do Google Alerts. Does anyone else have Google Alerts set up? Because you want to be in the know of real estate. You want to be in the know for, let's say you want to be in the know for local things. You can have that all set up. Oh, Amy's got it. So here you see, it's like literally showing you what to do. You don't even have to plan anymore. It's just literally letting you and copy and paste this and send it to your assistant. Or really even better, get the assistant to ask the question and then they have a plan now of what they need to do. Then they can ask you for photos or they can grab, if you have a bank of photos. I finally am getting organized enough to have this where I have a shared drive and I have one that's listings, then I have one that's just marketing, and then I have all the things. Well, there's a network error. It's probably taking forever. So I have the free version, and usually around this time, it's very busy because it's lunchtime. So if you want to pay $20 a month, you can get the paid version, but you can see this is Not an issue. It's red because it didn't do the 30 days. Now, the funny thing about ChatGPT too is it's very polite. If you say, no, you got that wrong, it'll come back and say, oh, I'm sorry. And then it'll redo it again. So lots of fun to use. My kids actually love using this because they're using AI. So if you're trying to engage your children to do that, it's pretty funny. So look, how to set, you can, I should just ask ChatGPT, although I'm sure it's not going to work now that, how do there. So it's not just something for you to write things for you. It can literally tell you what you can do. So here, what I'll do is I will copy and paste this into the chat, and you guys can copy and paste that if you want. But if you click in here, you'll see it's literally that simple. Just set an alert. You just have to say the topic that you want to know about. So Ask Jeeves is another one you can ask for content. Keywords Everywhere, you're just searching. So Keywords Everywhere is just showing you how to search, or sorry, how people are searching online, and it shows you. Has anyone used Keywords Everywhere? Do you want me to show you that? So I can if you want me to show you. Everyone's silent today. Okay, well, I won't show that. Yes, as in you do use it, or yes, you want me to show it to you? Show it, okay. All right, so let me just pull it up here. This is my YouTube screen. Sorry, I'm trying to drag everything over. Okay, so I have a plugin that's keywords. Oh, right. This might not work because I might not have, I think I have the wrong API set up. Yes, I do have the wrong API set up. Okay, so there's nothing on my account because this one has to have credits on it. But what happens is you have it on your browser and you click on, and literally all you have to do is search something. So how do I buy a home? It's not going to show you anything right now, but what's going to happen is underneath it'll show you how many times it's actually searched this exact phrase, how much time it's searched. Then what it does, it'll show you the trends. This is free. But then here, what do people actually search? Maybe they don't say how to buy a home. Maybe it's how to buy a house in Canada, or how, like, this is actually what they're saying. So this helps translate the realtor talk that we do all the time into what do people actually search for. So on the paid version, you actually will have on the side here all of the times it's searched per month. And so I would recommend doing something between 100 to 1,000 when you're doing YouTube. Under 100, it's not enough metrics, and over 1,000, especially if you don't have much clout yet on your channel, so you don't have much subscribers, don't try to do over 1,000 because you won't show up. Your channel needs to grow some strength before it does that. And then it also says people also search for this. So this is just to give you a little bit of metrics to show you, and it shows you over time how many people search this exact term. That's just one keyword platform. And trends on TikTok. So this is the same thing. You just look at trends on the Reels or TikToks to see what you could maybe do. A lot of times I'll just save things. Now that I have someone, I don't do it anymore, but I used to just go through and save. Hey, that looks like a good one. Follow realtors that are outside of your market, I'd recommend, because then it's not so obvious in case someone's following both. I like to follow the other realtors and kind of do their stuff because you're doing it as your own. And ChatGPT we talked about, and polls. So polls means going onto your stories and asking what people want to know, or going on Facebook and asking people what they want to know. Those other ways to get content ideas. How do you get to this page again? What page, Crystal? Do you want to pop on? I don't know where she went, but Okay, you can ask me that more. I'll keep going.
Hey,
So,
sorry,
oh,
Melody. I was wondering how you got to the Google page that you're on. Is that the paid version, or I think
that
that's
was,
where I
so I have a keywords everywhere, right here. It's just a extension. I'm on Chrome and it's an extension that I added, and I have an account which has money. So normally when there's money here, it would show me even more stuff than what you're seeing. You have to remember to turn it off, because what happens is you're just using a regular Google page. So if you start just searching whatever, it's going to start pulling and using your credits up. So you don't want to use all the credits. I do have a video on my YouTube channel that talks specifically about the keywords. So I'll pop that in there in a bit here when we're done. So cross-posting and planning, I'd recommend using a planner. So lots of people use any form of planning. You can use paper, you can use Google Calendar, you can use Trello. I like to do it virtual because it can be shared with a team, or if you're collaborating and working with somebody, and then it moves. Even I had it on my whiteboard, but then I'm like, oh, I want to change that. I don't want to do it there anymore. I want to do it here. So even if you can do sticky notes, at least you can move that whole sticky note over. And so I'll show you my Instagram calendar, and I just use Trello. It's free. So here's all my little different buckets. Oh, sorry. So March, April, May, June. I have my theme ideas. I have my listings. If you click calendar power up, shows you, I'll show you back here. Shows you what I've been doing. And I had like just different themes just to keep me organized, to know what on earth am I going to post. See, look, I didn't always use this. When my assistant did it for me, she would use it. Then I stopped doing it. And then we started doing it again, because now that we have someone helping us, we need to make sure we can see what's going on in here. The nice thing about this is you can do messages to each other on this specific card. So, let me see. I'm trying to think of one where I actually did something where you guys can see inside, but it helps you collaborate with your people that you're doing stuff with, or maybe even just for your own sake. So here it's the video that I'm doing. Here's what the descriptions are. Here's the things I'm going to be filming on, and some keyword research that we had done. And I also grabbed this from ChatGPT. It got a script written up for me. So it was really easy for me to do that. And any research would go into this card. This is our YouTube. We've combined our Instagram and YouTube just because now we want to make sure that our social media manager knows to pull the content from YouTube to dump into the content throughout the week. So for example, that one I just showed you that we aired on 4th, we're putting little pieces of it throughout on Fridays for the local stuff. But this can be clicked and dragged, so it can easily be moved, so that if you decide that you have a new listing you want to feature, or there's a new post, like you want to talk about the Silicon Valley Bank fall apart, maybe you had something planned already for Monday, you can now move it because you want to be more relevant and trending. So that's one way to do it. We use that, but I also use Planable. So there's Planoly, there's so many planning apps. For people who plan, what do you guys use? Can you pop that into the chat? I'll just show you my Planable thing. It allows me to cross-post on all these different platforms. This is not free. So I can post to Facebook. I can actually change it. So I don't, when I want to do a post, let's say this one, I can actually, oh, it's already been done. Hold on. I click media. I can actually move this so that I can share to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, and it allows me to do different descriptions for each one, because a LinkedIn description is going to be different than a Facebook description versus a Google update description. I use calendar, but now I think, yeah, I like the ability to see the calendar. Hey, Erin, what's Social Pilot? I'm going to look it up.
Hi. Sorry.
Hi.
Social Pilot's great. I think it's probably similar to Planable, but now I'm curious about Planable.
I'm also curious. I'm like, oh, let's see what this is. What do you like about it?
It just makes it so easy. I used to use Hootsuite, and it's just so many layers and it felt so complicated. And it has a very similar interface to what you shared as with Planable, but it has basically allows you to select which platforms you want to post to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. And it has analytics, I see. I haven't even gone into too deep into this because I have the calendar. I don't know if it has analytics, to be honest, like social pilots. There's also there's another one. I want to say it's something to do with sprouting.
Oh yeah, that one I looked into. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I don't. That's the one that
get me 100% there.
It gave you what?
It didn't get me 100% there.
Okay. Tom Ferry's social media girl uses that when I was at the Tom Ferry conference. That's the one she uses. And people are asking, how do I do analytics? And they're like, just use this and it'll pull a report for you. I like this because, okay, so I have a version where I just pay for myself and I have my social media manager just use my account, but you can actually pay and you can add people. So you pay per seat. And then what'll happen is you can go into, this is a story. You can go in here and you can actually talk to each other on here. You can actually plan a comment. So you have to remember to hit internal note, because if you don't, it's going to schedule and show up as a comment on Instagram, which I realized yesterday. I'm like, oopsies, that was a message for my person, not for everyone to see. So it is nice that you can also click approve. You can say that you can have it set up where nothing will post unless you approve it. So it depends on kind of what style you want. I really like it. It isn't the most cheapest thing to do. But I like using it. Planoly's the other one. I think it's cheaper. Yeah, it's quite a bit cheaper. And then there's a few others. Oh, Sprout Social. Yeah, that's what it is. I think Sprout is pretty expensive because it's not, again, these are they can have multiple platforms. So if it's a social media manager who's doing multiple ones, if they use it, then maybe that's, yeah, this is insane. $399 per month. I don't need something that crazy. So it literally needs to be creating content for me if it's going to be costing me that much money. So the theme for the month I find helpful because then it organizes me. So I'll go back to my Trello. Where did I put it? So here's my themes. January was decluttering, planning, how to buy and sell in the same market. Because I'm actually trying to think of what kind of clients do I want in this market and how do I educate them as it progresses, how to showcase your home. So I want to provide value to both my clients and to what clients I want to have. So that's why it's so important to think of who your avatar is. I came up with the themes in my head, but yes, you can use ChatGPT. Because I'm just thinking about who are my clients and how do I talk to them? That's the biggest thing. If you make your content specifically to a client that you can think of, literally talk to them, just take their names out of it. That's going to be your most effective type of content for all across the board, whether it be YouTube videos or Instagram or anything like that. So see, in May, it's moms because it's Mother's Day. So I have a little bit of a theme to kind of go off of, and then I create the actual content. I use the buckets to kind of go, okay, if I'm going to talk about Edmonton and the theme is moms, maybe I'll think of some places that is good for Mother's Day brunches. If my content theme is moms and it's behind the scenes of an agent, I'm going to showcase that I'm a mom and what I do behind the scenes. Or I can showcase like someone's getting ready for listing their house and they're sharing a testimonial of how we help them as a mom to get their house ready for sale. So there's a lot of ways to just kind of organize your content. So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you guys. We use separate boards on Trello. I used to have one for YouTube and one for Instagram specifically, but because YouTube, we just post on Saturdays and we only post Monday to Friday on Instagram. We just decided to put everything onto one because it helped me figure out what the content was going to be for the rest of the week. Because we're doing a different format where let's do long form and grab short pieces and hooks in the long form into the short form so that I'm utilizing my time the most effectively and efficiently I can. It also makes your YouTube videos more interesting too, because if I'm always thinking of, okay, I have to have 4 hooks to keep everyone interested in the video. So the people watching doesn't fall off either. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? I don't know why this is, there we go. How long are your YouTube videos? I'm just gonna stop sharing so we can just all be on the platform here. So if you want to pop on the camera, Laura, who's Laura? Where's Laura? I don't see you. Oh, hi Laura. Oh no, that's not Laura, that's Angela. So my YouTube videos are anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes. It just depends on the content I'm talking about. I was just doing a YouTube mastermind last week with a small group of people, and we were talking about, it depends on your channel. Some people's YouTube videos are an hour, and that's effective for them. You want long retainability. So if you've never done a YouTube channel before, then you just need to start. But if you already have a YouTube channel, I would highly recommend going into your analytics. That's also how we come up with content also, is looking up at your analytics in the back end to see what your most watched videos are and how long they are. If you go into your YouTube, and you can go to anyone's YouTube and click most popular, then it'll show you what is most popular. So let me just show you. I have to share my screen again. So I'm going to just show you. You can go to like anybody's YouTube channel. Let's go look at Brad's. You can click videos and sort by popular. So go to any channel that you're curious about. I'd highly recommend checking out your competition and your own videos. So you can see the most popular videos, and then it'll show you, that was a year ago. So nothing recently apparently was more popular than these ones. But the interesting thing is, if you're trying to get some content ideas, look at what they're doing. So Brad's an easy one in terms of what kind of content does well for him, because he's the king of listing videos. So these are all listing videos. Study his thumbnails, his titles. These are all really important when it comes to getting leverage on YouTube, and that's a whole nother class in itself. But if you're looking for content ideas, you can look at people's playlists as well, if they have playlists, so that you can see what kind of ideas they do. But if you want to know what's popular, that's what I would do. Do you guys have another realtor that, I'm wondering if anyone else has? Let me see, Malcolm. So his YouTube channel.
Hey, my name is Malcolm Lawson. I'm a
Popular. So no more mortgage, 10 hacks to pay your mortgage off early. Guess what? Do that for content. That would be great. You could do it specifically for your market. He's got abandoned places in Maryland. So maybe you could talk about that, get your home ready to sell. So these are popular on his channel. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll be popular on yours. That's why you want to look at your popular stuff as well, because you want to keep it, if your target is moms, maybe this doesn't make sense. I don't know if moms would be interested in this. I'm a mom. I'm not super interested or not interested, but it is about the specific city, right? So maybe you're interested in knowing what's going on in your city. So that's that part. What else? Do you guys have any other questions at all? For people who are not creating content, did this help you in terms of a starting point? Because I'm curious because planning content is going to help you. Oh, great. Thanks, Erin. It's going to be a great place for you to do this, so that when you're busy running your business, you're not like, oh crap, I got to post today. What am I going to post on? So at least you're able to generate all that content. You can schedule on Instagram now, in case you didn't know. So you can go and schedule the post, so just create everything on your drafts and schedule it, and then it's gone. You don't even have to use a planner. You can just schedule it. Tom Ferry's ecosystem is all about rip off and duplicate. There's also set time to do it. Yes, yes. And also I was told last week at the guy that's in on an Instagram saying, try not to schedule it, because it's better to post at like 9:02 instead of 9 o'clock. But you also have to think of what's doable for you as a realtor. You know, you also have to run a business. So I get that that's the best thing to do. Just like it's technically best on TikTok to post 20 times a day. We're realtors. We don't have time to post that many times a day. So you got to do, there's a balance between doing what everyone is telling you to do to be effective on that platform versus just having presence and just being consistent, right? So if being consistent means 3 posts a week, then just do 3 posts a week and just do it consistently. Then once you have a pattern, then add another one and then add another one, but like get yourself consistent first. Instagram stories is a really good place to start if you don't even have a position to do reels, because if you're worried about what you look like, or I don't look right good enough, or all that mindset stuff, pop onto stories, because guess what? It's gone in 24 hours, unless you highlight it. But do that just to kind of get yourself in the motion. Are you using any services to develop your content ideas? So putting videos well, I was using an assistant to do that. I had hired an assistant, and the assistant I hired was not a social media assistant. So that's a pro tip for you. I don't know if that's a pro tip, actually. I have a marketing background, so I'm very specific on what I want. And so I think most of us realtors want something specific, and you want them to know you. You don't want some generic content, right? I really strongly disagree with those paid platforms where it just generates random content out for you. I feel like you just might as well not post anything. But I had an assistant that didn't know anything about social in that sense. And I trained her, I paid for classes, and I had her watch them as well. I had her watch the Karen Carr course. I had her watch the Malcolm Lawson course I also watched it. So then that way we both could meet and talk about the same thing, and she could test out thumbnails, she could test out descriptions and all that. She was my implementer, right? But I still needed to know about what was going on. Sometimes I was really bad and I didn't watch some of the videos. So then she'd get annoyed because she's like, we need to try this. And I didn't understand why she's doing it, because it's hard when you're trying to sell houses. You also, but it has been well worth it, because we've been able to generate really consistent business on YouTube. And you need to know you best. How can you be most consistent? And usually we need to be hiring things out. Like I needed an assistant for processing transactions. I should not be doing that. And then when it came to marketing, if you want to put out as much content as you do, you need to automate and delegate. Those are the 2 biggest things. Oh, right. So you want to know about the social media manager. I don't pay her per hour. She's monthly, and I'm in Canada, so it's going to be completely different. You guys have a lot of different options in the US as well. And my girl only works with one person in the industry. So she won't take on another realtor just because of just NDA stuff, right? So I would recommend trying that assistant route. You can try a VA route. I do have a few different recommendations I can pop in the chat as well the company's called Versed Look. That company will do and create stuff for you. They'll also edit YouTube videos. They'll edit videos. They did that for me one time. I had phone footage and they made it look amazing. It performed really well on my YouTube channel. On the one that's still existing. I accidentally deleted my luxury channel the other day. Just have to vent and air that out. I lost everything. All of my high-end listing videos. That was awful. Still hurts me. I'm still trying to see if I can grab it. It's a good thing I wasn't trying to build it, but for not building it, it was doing really well. Steven, you had a question? You're muted.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna type it into the chat there. But when you say you have somebody helping with processing transactions, I'm just kind of curious, what sort of things do you have them do, like uploading paperwork to the brokerage, like stuff like that, or?
Yep. So we have a whole workflow process on our back end we currently use Follow Up Boss. We will be transitioning to Chime in the fall, because everyone's asking me about Chime since we're with Real, and Chime is very smart. So anyways, there's a bunch of tasks that have to get done that I want to get done when we get the contract, when we get the client, when they go pending, blah, blah, blah. One of the sections is the transaction management. So uploading to Bolt and doing all the things. So I'm not even thinking about all that stuff. They're dealing with all of it. It is it saves a lot of brain space. Yes, it's easy. Real's made it really easy to upload everything, but yeah, that's something that saved me a lot of time. So it's like a plug and play, right? Like if they're worrying about that, then you actually have time to think about creating content or filming content. And another hack I do is I schedule in my calendar. So it's an actual appointment in my calendar of when I film. and I'll film 4 or 5 videos at one time so that I have a bank of videos because my 15-year-old edits them. And then it's not the pressure of we need this video now. It's, oh, he's working on the video for 3 weeks from now.
And
Yeah.
so what, you don't do that like once a week, like have like a block on like Sunday mornings, let's say, and just film for like 3 hours, or?
So I have Thursdays as my day to film because most of the kids are gone out of the house. And I found that I film best first thing in the morning. So you should find you, right? Like, when does your creativity go? For me, I found when I pushed it to the afternoon, I didn't want to do it. Because it is headspace stuff, right? Like, you do need to be in the right mindset. So I feel like the best time for me is first thing in the morning, pump it all out, get it done. And before I get that stage, I have time set up earlier in the week to plan, what am I filming? So that when I turn the camera on and film on Thursday morning, I'm just going through all the list and checking everything off, not scurrying around trying to figure that out. So on Tuesdays, I spend the majority of the day in the office and I make sure all that's done. And that's a reoccurring task on my Trello board and a reoccurring calendar appointment. So this Thursday I have a retreat, so I won't be at home. So I've moved that appointment into another spot. So it's not like it has to be that date, but that's how it's kept me consistent. What does it mean to test out thumbnails? I've heard that before. How do you test before you post? Oh, so I don't know how you test before you post. But if you have TubeBuddy, that's something we're going to play with this year about testing thumbnails. We've never actually done that before. So I was able to build up my channel to where it's at. We're just under 4,000 subscribers, but we have closed 100,000 GCI in the last 2 years, each year in the last 2 years, just from YouTube without doing that. And with just a phone recording video with crappy lighting, crappy editing. It's not a production value, but it's content value. So you can test the thumbnails on TubeBuddy. You can upload 2 thumbnails and it'll test A and B at the same time. I don't even know how it does that. I'm not sure what it does. It must have some platform where it just like shows some people this one and some people that one. And yeah, Laura, do you have, like, where did you hear?
Oh, I've just been at different conferences where people talk about them testing their thumbnails, and they'll use a completely different thumbnail if it doesn't test right. I don't understand where they're testing.
So they're tested, like, I would think it's when it's live is how they're testing it. And I'm the only one I'm familiar with is TubeBuddy. You could do it manually, but I mean, that's a lot of time. You are supposed to, one of the suggestions I was made was create 2 different thumbnails for your video and see how it does in the first hour. If it's not performing the way it should be, then switch it up.
And when you create a thumbnail, so my thumbnails are just like a scene from the video, but you can create a thumbnail like a JPEG, like in Canva, you can create like a JPEG.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So Laura, what's your YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say you can, yeah, the thumbnails I would do is take a look at the different channels that are successful in the market and see the trends that they're doing. Because there is things. Now, if you're looking at figuring out how to do the thumbnail of your face, do you know how to do that on Canva?
No, a thumbnail of my face. No.
With your face on it. So you just grab some pictures and put I'm going to show you something.
Oh, okay. And just create like a JPEG that you put first in the video.
No, it's like this. Do you see how Malcolm's face is here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so just doing something like that. But I want to show you, oh, I didn't plan to do this. So let me just see how I want to show you guys the analytics on elements for, okay, so if you have TubeBuddy attached to your account, you do have to pay for TubeBuddy, but click magnet. There's going to be a tutorial, a quick video on my Instagram to show how to do this, but it's kind of cool because it shows you, if you click element inspector, what your channel, face or no face, how the click-through rates are affected. So it shows you, like, I have a 5.91%, which isn't bad. And then this one has more because these are all my listing videos. So it's the listing videos that they're actually clicking. You can see the emotions. So which emotions do better for you? Because it's not going to be the same for every channel, right? Like my channel will be different than yours. So you can try doing, like, this is hilarious. Apparently angry does well. I'm like, apparently I need to make more angry faces. And then see, happy 5%, sad 3%. So I just thought this was kind of fun. And this also shows you size of your face or of you. So long shot, medium shot, close up, and mixed size. It shows you what's better. So when you're creating your thumbnails, and then also text versus no text, words in the titles, and it shows, but this is specific to your YouTube channel, right? So you can't really do this on someone else's. It only is possible to be done on your own. Yeah.
But what does your son use to edit your videos?
He uses Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I learned how to do it myself first. Then I taught him. And then the student has surpassed the teacher, like, big time. Because what he ended up doing was he started using YouTube to teach him, to teach himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's just natural to them, right? So he just did his first listing video. I've upgraded him now. He comes and films my listings. And I'm so impressed with what he did. Like, I can't wait to see how it reacts on YouTube. But like,
Very cool.
I'd rather pay for my son's education if I can that way than, and he's super creative. So don't put the wrong kid in that position, right? My other kid, that's not his thing, but he helps me with the back end on the detail sides in terms of the CRM and helping me manage clients and all that kind of stuff.
So what's it called again? The video platform?
Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut.
Lee was saying she uses WeVideo, easy to start. If you have a Mac, you have iMovie, very easy to start. That's how we started. iMovie. You can also edit video on your phone. So CapCut is one that a lot of influencers use, and it's super easy to use. And it has the ramping, the speed ramps. You always see like those people moving really fast in and out. Those are all edits. It's not you needing to run through the house. That would be a fun video. Like, what does it actually look like? Do you guys have any other questions? Oh, here's one. I'm just going to go back here. I have some Canva templates for thumbnails if anyone wants to share. Cool. And you can, so don't use the Canva templates that are Canva's basic templates. Those are not good. Just so you know, they don't perform very well. The ones that have your faces and the big chunky blocks of letters, those do well. So if that's kind of what you're talking about. Are there any tools to see what content is working in our local area for specific industries? Jana, what market are you in?
I'm in the Kansas City metro area.
Okay, so let's do that right now.
Ooh.
My screen still shared?
No.
Okay, sharing again. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Oops, am I spelling it wrong? Hey, Kansas City real estate. So when I'm typing, it's suggesting things to me. Like, pro tip, that's also keywords. That's what people are searching. So I'm gonna click this. And then I have TubeBuddy, so it's showing me all these things on the side here.
So TubeBuddy is kind of what you're using to find.
I honestly don't, my assistant was using this when we were starting. So probably it's a good place to start just to get yourself some ideas. This guy apparently is all the top, like, do you know this realtor?
Nope. Never heard of him at all, actually selling anything.
Well, that's why there's opportunity, right?
Yeah.
This one is a productions company. There's another one. See, but guess what I noticed? There's no females in here.
Mm-hmm.
So you will stand out in itself. Okay, here's something interesting. Take a look at that thumbnail with the house, the one on the left and then the one on the bottom, and then the one up here. That is the Canva house. And I just tried putting that Canva house on my last video and it did really well. So, and the interesting thing is with YouTube, once you figured out the thumbnails that work, you don't actually need to keep changing them. You just have to change the wording on them. So the videos that people are popular, real estate investing, Kansas City real estate market crash. The market stuff does really well. Let me just click in his. So he has 272 subscribers. And so here's a tip for you so you don't feel bad about yourself. If the guy has 272 subscribers and he has like 20,000 views, very likely he probably paid for the ads, paid for it. It's not normal unless you can see it consistently. So remember I showed you videos, click popular. So living in pros and cons, that video always does well, pros and cons. So that's something that you could do, Jana, as a pros and cons of living in Kansas City. Do yours take on it, right? Don't you need to do his take. You can watch his video to see what he talked about, but do your take on it. His listing videos seem to be doing really well, but again, he could have paid for these, right? Because he only has a couple hundred subscribers, so likely he might have paid. I've never paid for an ad on my thing because I want to know what my analytics actually are. And when you don't pay for ads, Google will, or YouTube will then they figure out who your audience is and then starts to push it out to your specific audience. See, here's another pros and cons. So for him, pros and cons does really well. So you can literally go into all the neighborhoods you can do, and cost of living is another big one, but you can take this content and then repurpose it on your blog, on your Instagram, on whatever it is. Does that give you some ideas of how to research your?
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was a way to find, kind of like who the hot folks are in our market. I love following people. I love watching their content and just seeing what they're doing. I'm a little bit of a voyeur and I need to not be so voyeurish, but.
About making a big move to Canada.
Yeah, well, it looks like this is the biggest subscriber count in your cities. This to me is like prime opportunity.
Low hanging
You to be
fruit.
doing stuff. You just need to get on there because there's no females in here. He's totally this. So this thumbnail is something I've seen on YouTube, not from realtors, but like a thumbnail that I think it's from Canva. That one, I'm not sure. None of these guys are using. This is cost of living in Kansas. See how he has that shocked face? If you look at the top, it's like this face. It's interesting. This is the guy that is the most watched YouTube channel in the States, in all the US. Jason Walter. See how everything's the same? And then look at his face. You know how people are like, oh, I have to wear the same shirt on my thumbnail as my video? He's got facial hair in this video and glasses. Like he does not look like his thumbnail at all. Right? So we get so caught up on making sure that we look authentic. Well, this is authentic. And you can see all his stuff is very similar in terms of his thumbnails. And see, these are his market updates. And nothing fancy, right? It's just a normal background. This is his living room in the kitchen. It's not super overly done. And look how many views this guy has. He has 90,000. So I'm following him just because he obviously knows what he's doing. So I'm going to kind of figure out what he's doing. For efficiency purposes, if you want to make just one video to be able to post on all platforms, where should you start? You want to film from the landscape and make sure you're filming in a high enough resolution that when it's cropped and edited to be vertical, it's not all grainy, because you'll see on my Instagram, actually one of my most recent ones, I'll show you, we didn't have that figured out yet. And so then it looked bad. But honestly, like I said, progress over perfection, just put it up. So this one is the bad one. This was not filmed properly. I filmed that one as if it was just going horizontally, but now these ones are all filmed more. Oopsies, I can't see it from here, but now they're filmed more appropriately. If you want to avoid this, when you post it on the top, when you click edit cover, you can actually click what it looks like in the grid and drag it down. But this was being scheduled, and so you don't have that opportunity to do it when you're scheduling things. Um,
Do you use another program to cut it, or you just put it right into Instagram, for example, and then
oh
it
no,
already size?
Cade used Final Cut Pro and he re-edited it because some of our B-roll and the text and stuff would not work properly if it was done horizontally. Again, if you hire a company like Verse Look, they can do all that stuff for you very easily.
Verse look like
I'll
VERS.
send you the link. The guy is supposed to send me a link to their social media stuff. What was it said? Can you do OKC? What is that? Sorry, I'm the naive Canadian. Angela, what's OKC?
Oklahoma City.
Oh, thank you. You want me to search that right now? She's still here.
Sorry, I answered for her, but I don't know if she, oh, there she is.
I don't know if she's still here. If she's not here, I'm not going to share the screen because that's kind of weird. YouTube thumbnail. Oh, you are still here. Okay. Okay, let's. Oh my gosh, I can't spell. Oklahoma. What? Did you say Oklahoma?
Oklahoma City.
I put real estate because you're a realtor. Did you see how investing showed up? So if that's one of your specialties, that's probably something you could look up. But here is moving to Oklahoma City. You can get a lot of relocations from YouTube. Like that's usually where a lot of buyers will search.
Thinking of moving to the Oklahoma City area.
474 subscribers. Wow. Either this did really well or he promoted it. It could be that it did really well because of just the fact that it's the content style. These are all the standard videos that people do, like pros and cons. You see the theme. But it's hard to know if they actually like, is this organically done properly or did they advertise it? I'll tell you when you don't advertise, it's really cool when you get the leads coming to your inbox because you didn't pay for them. They organically found you. Okay, so let me just talk about Canva because someone's talking about YouTube thumbnails.
Can we talk about especially noticing how there's not that many females,
Yes.
especially when you're throwing that up? So there's like a total market, especially for YouTube, to be
Yeah.
a female and doing it.
Yep. 100%. And also, even if there is females, those people are not you. So that's the cool thing is that you're going to attract people that want to work with you because you're you. Someone who doesn't want to work with me will work with someone else, right? Just like in anything. So like that's the one we saw that the one guy did. These are the ones that they've done better with their thumbnails. They used to be really bad. They used to be all like these. These do not do well. And this one, these types of thumbnails don't do well. Like, I don't understand why they're even here. But these ones up here, definitely not like this. I think this one has too many words. You want to do like 5 words or less. You could just use this and then delete some stuff or edit it yourself. That's the good thing about Canva. How do you remove background from your photo? Oh my gosh, so easy with this. Here, let's just make this. So if I want to put myself in here and get rid of her. Upload a photo of yourself. See if I can find a photo of myself here. Here. There's my AI. Just excuse that because that's for our podcast that's coming out. So here's the photo. Click edit image. Background remover. Ta-da! Done. It's just taking a while. That's taking a really long time. It doesn't normally take this long. It may be because we're on Zoom right now. But once you saw the thumbnail, there you go. So now it's done. Backgrounds removed. Probably
How
should
much
have.
does Canva cost anything, or this is
Um,
Canva? Right?
This one, you can get this for free. There's
Yeah, okay.
different, pardon me?
Sorry, no, I just said okay.
There is, like, I pay for a paid version because I want access to all of the extra things, but you don't need to, like for that background remover, it's not the paid version. And there's also AI on there too. Like you can use it like a chat GPT. So yeah. Oh, you have to have pro for background remover? That's new to me. I did not know that. Okay.
Do you know how much that costs roughly?
I think I pay maybe 20 bucks a month. Maybe. It's not really crazy. It's definitely worth it because there's so many things you can do on there for content. It makes it really easy to create to actually create it after you've planned it, just to go in there and like literally search Instagram post, right? Then you can find things to create your content. It's much easier. So the formal part of the course is done. If anybody wants to stick around and do some more stuff, let me know. But I'm going to hit stop recording.